good running game to offset some things, and that's not there
funny
this
is
year.
they can no longer blame it on the Stoops.
Yeah.
It was the defense. That's who they always blamed it on.
Yeah.
Good morning, ladies. Can I get your name, please?
Karen Hummel.
Hey, Karen, how you doing? It's hard to see people with the mask on.
That's right. We talked, when you called me last week, I was in Trader Joe's in Kansas City, and I was very surprised to get that call.
Well,
Ma'am, can I get your name?
Mary,
Yes.
Mary. Okay, Mary.
Where's Jamie?
Mary behind the mask.
yeah. No, I've worked with these two ladies, Cub Scouts a lot, and worked at the old KP&L with Karen, so.
My wife loves Mary Staney. She worked with Mary. I told her I saw you.
Just yesterday.
I told her a while back. She says, "Oh, I love."
Okay, time for the meeting, pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as every first Monday of the month I have, since I've been chairman, I give a little talk on, or not a little talk, a little kind of a sincere prayer for the county and for everyone else. So I'm going to do that now. So if you all would take a little attitude of prayer here, and that we ask for the blessings for the county. We ask for the health of the president. We ask for people to take part in this great experiment that we have, and to vote and to be part of the solution for this great country. And in that we ask and pray that you will bless us. Thank you. Okay, now get with the program. So public comment first. Let me get them up here. Do you have anything, Dave?
Like the background.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I do not. Julie just asked me to join and let you know that she's not going to be able to be on this morning.
Okay.
And I do not have any updated numbers at this point.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
we know what happened towards the end of the week? There was a lot of question about why numbers weren't put out on Friday, so I'm assuming there's something behind that.
Quite frankly, I don't know. That is something we're going to talk about at a command staff meeting at 9 o'clock, and we'll provide you with an update. But I'm not aware of what occurred
Okay.
or why.
Anybody else on Zoom that needs to say something? If not, we'll move to public comment here. So, ladies, you want to take they're next, right?
No, it's on business meeting.
Oh, business meeting. Okay, I'm sorry. I looked at it wrong. Okay. Then Commissioner Ford.
Okay, well, Thursday afternoon, Zoom once again. I hope they come up with a different platform at some time. Find that in Microsoft Teams, make it interesting, some nice colors, just something different. But anyway, zoomed in on the October meeting of the Crisis Intervention Team. It's a sub kind of committee of the Flint Hills area mental health task force. As you're probably aware, the COVID-19 has really kind of put a halt through these meetings. We were obviously meeting in person early in the year, and they went to a halt. There's a lot of new faces on this team at this particular point in time, so we're kind of discussing that on Thursday, and I think we'll get moving forward once again and see where things go. We did have a pretty good discussion. I would probably mention that the incident Thursday night is a really, really good reason why these meetings exist and why they need to exist. And also wanted to send my condolences to everybody involved in the incident Thursday. Wish we were able to do something a little different there to keep the outcome from happening, but sometimes those things happen, and there's discussions that we're going to have and going to continue to have, and this is why these meetings take place. So moving on to Saturday, it was of course good to see K-State come back home and pick up a win versus Tech. Hopefully we can sustain from all these injuries, including our starting quarterback. We'll keep our fingers crossed there, and continue to move forward and win and keep a healthy team in place, both with the virus and just the natural things that happen in the course of a football season. So still happy to see that we're playing. So that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wells?
Oh, busy times. I've been very busy. I did a couple of responses to several people on the sales tax issue on the, and there again, these are more against the sales tax vote. It's just in the matter of transparency, I think there's misinformation put out about the not raising property tax, because in the 10-year cycle, if it passes, it will raise the property taxes. And in the packet, what's looked ahead for the Raleigh County as far as the road and bridges and things, could be as much as 6 to 10 mills. And of course, the city of Manhattan is in Raleigh County, so it'll involve all the taxpayers, but and that's the only thing, it's just I think it should be presented fully and all the pros and cons and allow the people to vote on it. So like I said, I responded to a few of those and probably will again next week on the radio show. And then continuing on my projects, enjoyed a good game Saturday afternoon. It was a little apprehensive at first when we lost our quarterback. And, but overall, I just really enjoyed the game and really missed the Chiefs on Sunday. We're really looking forward to it'll be a break from my little remodel. So hopefully it's still on for this evening.
It is 7 or 7:05.
So anyway, looking forward to the game tonight then.
Okay, good. Well, spent the week again with phone calls and other emails here, and we'll meet Friday with RCPD concerning the incident last Thursday. And so Dennis and I will have a conversation over this, Butler and I. Then got involved with the game a little bit after I got back from taking wife to Abilene to look at antique stores. And so got back home and listened to the rest of the game. Otherwise, had a good, nice days. The days have been great and all that. So anyway, that's what we've got. So we'll move on to the business meeting.
First time I have, filed the reservation request for legal member voters.
Okay.
AAUW.
All right, and state your names and everything, and we'll get rolling.
You need my address as well?
It'd be nice to have.
Okay, I'm Mary Stamey,
Mhm.
and this is my partner here, Karen Hummel.
Mhm.
And I live at 608 Houston Street here in town. And we are representative of two organizations that are promoting Get Out the Vote,
Mhm.
the League of Women Voters and the American Association of University Women. And we had asked the city of Manhattan for various spots around town where we could put up our banners for an hour, and have been doing that. I believe we've done it 5 times so far with a lot of honks and waves and thumbs up participation. We asked to do it in front of the courthouse, and that was immediately turned into a petition to the county
Mhm.
commission to do so. So that's why we're here today, to ask for approval of that.
Yeah.
And I believe you were sent a copy of
Right.
that and a picture of at least the AAUW
Mhm.
banner. If you wanted to see the League of Women
yeah.
Voters banner, I have that too.
Saw you ladies out Saturday. Saw you out Saturday by the city offices.
I'm sorry, I'm hearing impaired, I don't
Saw
understand.
some of you ladies at the city offices this week on Saturday.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'll wave.
We had a lot of fun.
John, do you have any comments?
No, I'm perfectly fine with that.
I moved to approve the plaza reservation request.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Great
you.
job.
All
You do good work.
Thanks.
You ladies be sure and work Karen McCullough very hard at that. Okay?
Yeah.
She has participated.
Yeah, I know.
Several times.
Thank you. That's only the one there. Yep.
Yeah. She was there when I came to KP&L, and so. Let's see, no, this is yours also.
Oh, I handed too much.
Yeah, I can't take two things at a time.
And I do have one addition, gentlemen, to the business meeting. We do have a voucher that had been misplaced through the paperwork system, and it's a voucher that needs to get paid in a timely manner. It's a rather large one. It's the Conklin Company, the amount of $679,119.58. It's for the McDowell Creek Road project.
Oh, yeah.
So this
Okay.
voucher had been delayed, and Leon asked me to see if we could get paid this week because it's already behind when it was due. So if we could get a motion to approve this.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I worked with both of those ladies a long time, Cub Scouts and the KP&L, so nice to see them again.
You, okay, gentlemen, ready for the minutes when the board is?
You guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6.
I do have one on page 6. Rich, for that executive session on page 6, shows the time out when the board went into executive session. It does not show the time return, at least on my.
Is that under Elizabeth's time?
It is,
Shows timeout, does not show time in.
right. At least it doesn't show up on my laptop. Does not show the return time.
I'll let Cindy check that, sir, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. Page 7. Page 8.
Move to approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Tentative agenda, gentlemen.
Let me see here. Well,
Or county offices closed on the 12th?
No, sir.
No, okay.
Remember, that's
That's
usually
usually,
early on about, it's usually when our countywide training day is, and since the whole COVID thing, we nixed that, and the commissioners agreed to have the offices open on that day
oh,
to the public, and so then that's also part of the reason for the presentation coming up later today about the request of the addition. So,
sorry that the meetings are getting longer. Sorry that the meetings are getting longer. I'm gonna blame it on the clerk.
Okay, it's not the first time.
I'm sorry to hear, even though I don't eat there much about the Brookville Hotel.
yeah, devastated about that.
Yeah, I know, that's horrible.
Mhm.
I mean, with me, from Kannapolis, Kansas, we were only 20 minutes from the original Brookville Hotel
Yeah.
growing up, so got to frequent that on special occasions with the original. And then when they moved, we were devastated, but
Mhm.
we're surprised.
I know a few years back, 5 or 6 years ago, it might even be longer, they were struggling to try to stay open
Mhm.
then. And then I think a new group of management or
Yeah.
something kind of came in and kept it afloat, but yeah, still with the COVID just.
Yeah, when they moved over to Abilene, it took away the
Yeah, it took
the
away a lot of the-
ambiance that they had, you know,
Right.
because they would put on shows outside. Because I was there one time when they actually did a shootout, you know, and it made for an old building and this kind of a deal, but it's too bad.
Any items for next week's press conference, gentlemen?
I don't have any.
Think of any, let me know. And then we do have a big winner for our first football game prediction. Of course, remember, the first one of every year, the winner buys breakfast. That is Clancy. He's the big winner this first game go around. So.
What a great prize.
That was newly implemented. Yep, Clancy is the closest. His difference in score was only 8 points in total.
So what happens if you hit it on the nail?
Then the others have to buy breakfast.
Okay. I'll work on that. I'll work
Like
on
the
that.
system.
Well, at least I got that we won.
Yeah, everyone got that we won.
Oh,
Next gentleman, you have Mr. Holman at 9.
I need to find some way to color code my deer, so I know who's double dipping and who isn't.
Paintball gun.
That's what I said. I was just getting ready to head down here, and there was one gal, "Hey, Ron, it's gone," you know, and I couldn't tell. I think she'd been there with the original hers.
Uh-huh,
I don't know. So anyway, so I give her a little green, but
uh-huh. Yeah, you got them spoiled.
oh yes, very spoiled.
Of course, mine are spoiled too. They just gotta pick the soybean off each pod at a time, but they've got plenty of acreage right there. Well, my soybeans look good too. They got about chest height, you know, they prick bottom ground and they're just loaded with pods. So I hope prices are halfway decent. That'd be a nice Christmas surprise.
Yeah. I've seen a few places are just starting to harvest some corn.
Yeah, my neighbor went and checked for tree stands yesterday, and one of the guys' land we on, he was cutting corn yesterday.
Seen them out there doing that Friday out of Eureka Road out there.
Well, and I'll tell you where all that water flooded back there in our areas, you know, it was up for so long. After that water went down, the weeds in those areas is just so thick, you can't even walk through it, and it's 7 foot tall. It is just amazing what it did for those weeds, the weed crop.
Brought in lots of seeds and pre-fertilized.
Man, it is just amazing. But they thrive.
Yeah, I don't think the price for weeds this year will be very high, so.
No, I don't think so.
Don't bother harvesting that.
as long as they're green, I don't care. It's on my yard.
I tell you what, we can use a little bit more moisture, but I
Yeah,
don't think
we
it's
could.
coming.
Just dry.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty warm week.
It is, unfortunately. I was getting used to last week.
Well, I tell you what, it was jacket chilly yesterday when we got up and around.
We're in that time now with air, heat,
Yeah,
air, heat,
Yep.
heat, air.
I've been fortunate the last week to 10 days to be able to keep the air off, but there might be a couple of days here towards the end of the week where that might not be possible.
our CPD had a little incident,
Mhm.
shame, that mental health thing's really a big deal anymore.
Yeah,
It was just so ironic. Like I said, we had that meeting Thursday and then boom, that happened Thursday night.
I was impressed with the way, according to what I've read, it's all how it's handled. I mean, our CPD did everything they could to defuse it and,
What project you're working on now?
I just finished the refrigerator cabinet yesterday, so put that in when I get home and then, I've got a little incidental, I either run the molding around the ceiling and cabinets, or I may go ahead and start the island. Got some trim on the outside of paint a little bit while the weather's good. And, what else? The bowling's pretty well dried down, the bulk of it.
Yeah.
At least I'm done with it. So.
It has slowed down, that is good.
Got
Yeah, you
some
just
limbs to trim.
Just gotta kind of mow every once in a while to keep the leaves chopped up.
Yeah, I noticing that the leaves are changing color over the last week there. You can start to really notice it.
There's a lot that have fallen.
Mhm.
We burned a good batch of them this week. That's all like living out where we live. We've got a big driveway, so we just blow them all out there on the rock and
Torch them, huh?
yeah, we get a lot of leaves. We'll have to do that 3 or 4 times this fall. With all those oak trees we have around.
Cute commercial yesterday. Guy had his girlfriend or wife and dog in a brand new Camaro convertible pulls in the park and they get out to take the dog for a walk. There's a leaf laying on his car and he goes, and they walk away. Then you see that big maple tree going. He gets back there and the leaf left on the tree. I don't even know what the commercial is
I hadn't
for.
seen it.
It's cute though.
Be good for a leaf blower commercial or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I'm so glad I took out 12 trees when I first moved in there, where I'm at. Boy, you should have seen that first year with leaves. Pine trees and other trees.
No, I like the trees. They're good shade, but
Yeah.
you get leaves, and I like big oak trees, so.
There was a, down the road from me, I could see it through the trees anyway, one of the neighboring streets down there. Been probably 2 weeks now, they have apparently a huge maple. That thing turned brilliant red about 2 weeks ago. Before even mine or anybody else, they were just starting to turn, it turned brilliant red. I don't know what.
There's a lady in our office that's a temporary helper that's helping with elections. She showed us her son sent her a picture. He's got a maple in his yard, and every year it changes the brilliant colors. Well, this year, for the first time ever, half of it stayed green and the other half changed. But it's the first, you'd think every year it did that, but this is the first time he'd ever seen it do that. One side stayed green, the other side turned red.
They do that all the time out east.
And it was a neat looking
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah. You see that when you get down into Indiana, Kentucky, down there, down the river valley, and then over across the way as you get into the Appalachians. Yeah, they do that all the time.
every once in a while I take my slow trip through the bridge construction there on Wildcat Creek, and, well, actually, fairly often, and, traffic moves pretty decent, you know, if you're patient, and the thing of it is, it gives you time to look, observe, and,
Right.
well, they're really elevating that stuff.
Are they?
Mhm.
I haven't been by there in a while. I kind of avoided, I just kind of go down Bloom on Anderson now.
Mhm. No, I just love work. I can watch it for hours.
Yeah, me too.
Been many, many years since I've been down to the end of your road. Going east there, wonder how they did, what, Driftwood down there yet, probably?
Down on Frog Holler?
No, stop there.
Oh, Stockdale Park. I have not been down there in a while. A lot of people really picked it up, you know, with the pandemic and it was up. And so a lot of people went down there and picked it up, but I'm sure you can still probably find some. It'd be through the weeds though.
Good winter project.
Uh-huh. That's always a pretty drive. The trees and the hills down there are so pretty with all the oaks. It's a really pretty area. Without traipsing around at all.
Well, as high as the water was, as long as it was, I'm sure there's many, many avenues and places up there that have driftwood.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, between the people that come down and get it for the decorative aspect and others that turn it into firewood, you know? That's a shame though. I mean, my son and I were talking, area over hunting, a lot of that was flooded, but some of those mature oaks that were 100 and some years old, you know, they're dead now. You're you know, firewood down there for decades
Oh,
now.
yeah.
You know, the funny thing is the oaks and the black locust aren't tough enough to handle it, but the sycamores come out of it fine.
Really? Well, the nice thing about those white oaks is even dead, that wood will be around for 50 years. Might get a little punky on the sapwood, but
Yep,
they don't rot.
yep. No, it's good wood, that's for sure. Got a lot of BTUs, splits nice and clean.
Yeah, I really miss that wood, cut and burn wood.
I've got a good stockpile this year. I've still got some more I need to split. It's right there by my splitter. I've been taking some early Sunday mornings while it's cool out, go out and split for an hour or two, you know. I don't overdo my back too much.
We're due for a winter.
I'm prepared.
We're due for a winter.
I say that every year. Someday I'll make it. clerks have some minutes are longer than others.
I know that. I see that. It's what's happening now. Okay, sir, I think you're on.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Clancy Holman, Riley County Council. Just to give you a little bit of an update, last week finished off the project, relatively small one for the county clerk's office. Currently finishing off some work this week likely for Public Works, for Emergency Management, for the Health Department. And we do expect to continue working on some work, some projects for, and possibly finish them off on the for the district court and for Riley County Community Corrections. We do expect to do some more work on the, as part of the Budget and Planning Committee, reviewing some items related to the CARES Act funding distributions as those come up. And certainly on projects as assigned by the board and requested by department heads. So, be glad to answer any questions you have.
Has there been any talk through KAC or anything on early, I know they're meeting next week virtually, but any talk about any one of our specific legislative items or other items?
No, not at this point, other than the one issue that we did talk about with General Counsel for KAC was an approach on some of the items, at least one of the items we have, opening up the language and platform, and I talked about that at the previous update. I think that's important. That's had some pretty broad-reaching policy implications for the state if the legislature would go in and actually review a lot of those existing exemptions. And at least some of them could be learning from certain. We'll see. But nothing specific on the items. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lance.
Okay.
Next, gentlemen, you have Tammy Robinson up from the CARES Act update, 9:20.
But I did try to keep it easy. I mean, it may be a little longer for you, but it's easy stuff today.
We just need to pack this all into about 30, 40 minutes.
You know, you could always make a motion, but we do that.
Big old house.
We have to.
That's, in particular, some of them still aren't insulated well. They haven't done that, you know?
Okay, the
Oh, yeah.
lighted parade on again.
So why not have something like that, stand it back, really neat little houses. Characters in today's houses, generally.
call this morning. 25 minutes.
Oh, that's what you were talking to?
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Yeah. He kept saying, you know, I can't tell you, but you need better information than you got. He keeps going back in time. And it says, good records, see, Alvin had all these things you talk about somebody did in 1980 or whatever, and we don't have it in our office. And what I gave him was, I got it. Greg, he has the property. And he's got that blue lane that goes through the middle of it. And so he gets there and says, he looks at one of them. And he says, well, we don't tax it. You don't tax it on it. You can't. There's something wrong. I said, because Julie lane is not taxed. He says, well, why don't you count that? And he looks at stuff that is taxed. And that's not all I had. Julie lane, and he said, you're not taxing it. You will not listen.
Sound like you, this guy that called me last week. Maybe, no, it was called.
They're related.
Right in the middle of it.
I know.
Good job.
Yeah, and he
They just keep calling him.
on and on and on.
He goes clear back to the seventies.
Yeah, and I mean, so the commission would be glad to do something, providing accurate information today based on what it was papers that said this was changed, that was changed, and whether or not, whatever.
My wife on herself still a damn place of good question.
He says he can't sell it. You know why he can't sell it? Because Julie Lane, he doesn't have, for whatever reason, the correct explanation to somebody else.
No, we don't want to, because what else would we do? If he could call us and complain.
People can Greg. See how long that takes. I feel sorry. I can't really. One guy is just.
Well, I tried that. Yeah, I went out, I told him, I said, I'll bring the cat out, and I'll just make really late, and I'll put it out.
He's still insisting.
Want that easy.
He's still insisting that Leon is supposed to pay it. Letter and everything.
Curb and gutter.
Curbing letter. I said, there's nothing there. He said he had it sold, but the guy went up there and looked at the stuff, found that on there, and said, no, I don't want it. He said, he could have sold it at a discount price. I said, let him change it. Take away the. We'll be glad to take it away and tax it.
No, this is what this is why he gets out of bed, and what his whole life resolved around that. Sort of easy to live.
No months, don't worry.
Well,
And
we're
even
gonna, we're gonna come keep calling you. Clancy
You
and I
didn't
were
get to
talking
say
about
that.
this.
I didn't get to say that word.
He seems like Marvin. Unless you change your number.
You guys are all right. Things like that, who needs it? Give him a job.
I don't know what you'll have to try to do.
I just think we got a lot more authority, but
Even when I'm gone, huh? you the message, I can't call you back. It's not important if you don't leave a message. So, especially the ones that are, we're about to cancel your insurance on the car.
Company, get on car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warranty.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I said, yeah, I said, sorry about that. The wording was fine. It said that it's a 1965 Dodge. I said, how can get people who want to warn it anymore? I said, it's very miles. Click.
And it just gives you the automated skill that is like, on.
Most of them all do. Most of them all get, talked back and turn up in the live person.
Yeah.
Really?
Here about a couple months ago, a couple packages broke live in the mail. And coffee bag type thing, and from the sign on there. The first one was a back. The second bag had 2 knee braces. And she lives about it. And so her daughter was pretty sharp. She just under a whole lot of line on medicals. Must have hit the right one. And when Mary called, she got the course. And so I saw about it and said, give me that number. So I called her today. And then he answered right away. Now I'm dead. Hi, I said, I'm Gary Mitchell. So, how you doing?
It's gonna have a young lady. I've been looking for you, Gary. And you're click on the other end. You know, kids have been looking for you, Gary.
Anyway, I said, I got these packages here with somebody else's name. I said, don't bother me. What do you want me to do? Well, once I said, I told her the name, Mary Garwood. And, well, she ordered those, I said, well, and what's your name? I said, Gary Michael, Michael. Michael Gary? I said, no, Gary Michael, Michael. So that's when you spell it from Michael, but I think that's where I was born. And so, anyway, she decided that I need to send it back, a charge, and she's going to ship it later. And, anyway, in the meantime, Mary was flying to there, talking to somebody. Oh, she called for security. And they said that's a scam. That's actually some diet word. Mary at all, but this was not a scam. Appreciate the information, all this, and that track these people have. So, anyway, this, I didn't really know what they were came in mail. It's like through, I'm waiting for the gal to call me back. Once I got shipped over, just said, oh no, ma'am, I said, I've got a brother that's flying around. You recognize that name, call that person, that's what you call Social Security, this is rip off, they have a perfect scheme, I don't want my name to have anything. I said, just lay here if you want to come pick it up.
I'm sure the truck is on the way.
But anyway, sure enough, she got the shipment they were wrong. It's Michael Gary.
You gotta call that local call and have somebody see if it's live. Scam call. They say, they're from the DEA, he's in trouble. The records were even social security. And I said, well, last time people said, I'm sitting, I live in Washington DC, I'm sitting in So they said there was just long silence. And once you got off the phone, it must have been somebody new and they're talking to whoever was doing it. They got back on and they just started the whole thing over. And they got and said, well, look, I gotta tell you, your script is so bad, you got to get work on it. You have got to go polish that. Because you're not gonna fool anybody.
Yeah, that's all the accounts. Thank you.
That's good. These are the things that we need.
Everybody more IRS for Social
sit around all day.
Oh, yeah? Are you guys just social distancing out there? Gotcha.
That'll be next. That'll be next.
That doesn't sound good.
Never, never. Don't get on that bus.
All right, are we missing one of us?
No.
Office.
So is it just quiet or what?
Just that little break, so.
I'll be-
I did pick up.
We want to get out of the camera.
Yeah, that's what we do. I'm hiding there, you can't see me. He's hiding, he's hiding, he's hiding.
So we're just gonna have the rest of the meeting in here?
I wouldn't do that.
The door's open.
Our camera is not off mine.
Whole house painted this weekend?
No, no, we didn't paint the house, we did the deck stuff. So I did a lot of painting on boards.
Well, keep us right, so we'll see if we can, you should paint one side of the house. And you- there's a portrait of-
That might be how ours goes. Because we're moving.
How are you doing?
Good.
What, can I come in?
You may come in.
And you're on rest. How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Morning, how are you?
I'm all right, how about you?
We're hanging in there.
Were you happy with your football outcome this weekend?
Yeah, could have did without all the injuries. Keep our fingers crossed, but
So when did they decide Casey and Patriots are playing?
tonight,
Is it tonight?
yes, 7 o'clock.
Oh, I don't really understand the delay, because I mean, if he had COVID, it's not like that delay is going to help them.
No, I don't get it either. And then like the Titans, who have like 20 members of their organization, I can get that, but the guy from the Chiefs is on the practice squad. He won't even be with the team yesterday or today or whenever. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, too, Gina, we bought new flags.
I know.
You
I'm
know
so
that.
excited. Yeah, I was gonna mention it.
Yeah.
I of course cried. It was such a, like a, when he walked in and gave me the letter, I was so shocked, and then of course I cried. It was an amazing gift.
You didn't have to cry.
I couldn't help it. It was just, and then I told some of my other board members, and they were standing there with the tears, and it's just been awesome.
No, we
Really.
felt they needed.
We really
Newer
appreciate it.
flags.
That's a significant contribution.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
There's too many veterans in the
Yeah.
organization.
That's what he was explaining to me. Hey, John.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Nice to see you in person.
Good to see you in person. I went to lunch with Amanda.
Good.
Love her.
Okay.
She's a good person.
Yeah.
Really
I'm going to talk to her later this morning in a
fun to
couple.
hang out with and chat.
By the time you walk
Just-
up there, Tammy.
Just what you wanted, right?
I mean, I think she's gonna really
Okay,
love being
you're
a part
on.
of
Yeah, I do too.
the organization. It's right up her alley.
Tammy Robinson, Budget and Finance Officer, here with the CARES Act update. The first thing I want to tell you is this week we have our second deadline that needs to go into the state, so that is October 7th. The state rolled out a new spreadsheet, so what we did in the past now is no longer okay. So I had to move everything that we submitted previously into this new form. And any changes we make, they also have a new form called a change memo that you have to outline anything that is adjusted based on your original plan. So for us, what that means is basically, if we have something that we previously told them we thought we were spending the money on, and now we're making an adjustment because of either timelines especially because of timelines, because that is one that we're looking at right now with the court. Originally, we had planned to try to renovate 3 courtrooms, and we don't feel like that is realistic with the timeline through December. So we're going to redo 1 room, and then we're gonna reallocate those funds that we have towards the court, towards other costs within the courtroom. If it still can't all be used as of that end of November date that we're looking at, again, we'll put those monies back in the pool and reallocate out. So that is something that we want to make sure the public is aware of. If you're contacted in any way or form, encourage them strongly to continue tracking their costs. Don't lose track of those, because at the end of November, we may be able to allocate other funds towards them. And since it's only going to be a month that we have to get that done, if they have them being tracked from now to then, it'll be a much quicker turnaround process than trying to scramble saying, oh yeah, what did we spend, or what did we need? So just encourage them to continue tracking, even at this point, if it's not being covered with dollars.
Will do.
So we did get some information in from some municipalities. So the committee's working on reviewing that documentation. The chamber previously reported around 150 applications, and half of those were completed ones. So they're still working with the entities to get all of those complete and then be able to review. Questions continue to come in with the programs and the eligible costs from the chamber and GMCF. GMCF was meeting last week to finalize their first set of recommendations to give to the county. Just to touch on what the state has done, on round 1, they had 400 million that was allocated and given to the counties, and those went out in July. Round 2, they allocated 314 million, which was slated to go out in August. And honestly, I'm not sure all of those dollars have been distributed yet. I can't find any information that tells me definitively. Round 3, they have 290 million that's being proposed, and those will go out between September and December. So with round 3, it looks like they have 3 areas: public health, which is going to encompass largely COVID testing; essential needs and services, which housing stability is their largest component in there; and the business resilience and workforce support, which is going to support child supervision. So the COVID testing, they have 52 million allocated for that at this point. The housing stability, they have 35 million allocated for that. And the business resilience, they have 40 million. So the entire pot of public health is 105 million. So that tells you 52 million of that is going towards the public health COVID testing. Housing stability has a total of 120 million allocated, with the 35 million going to the housing stability. And the business resilience has 65 million total, and it has 40 million allocated towards child supervision. Their theme for round 3 is to be dynamic and flexible. So what that means is that they intend to try to meet whatever needs that are out there between September and December. So with that, they're reserving some dollars within those categories. So in the public health, they're reserving about 33 million, essential needs and services, 25 million, and the business resilience and workforce support, 20 million. So they're reserved towards those, but they're not allocated at this time. In the public health, for the COVID testing, Spark is going to have testing proposals that they're seeking, and they intend to use potentially private labs, universities, or other public agencies. On the housing stability, they intend to cover rental assistance, utilities, and landlord support. And the Kansas Housing Resource Corporation is going to administer that. And the Kansas Children's Cabinet Trust is going to provide remote learning centers to the students to help with that child supervision. There is additional information out there, and you can actually go to covid.ks.gov for additional resources to read further information on those rounds, especially right now with round 3. That's all I have for now. Your questions? I see you look puzzled.
Always.
Inquisitive.
Along with the rental assistance, will there be mortgage assistance? Is there going to talk about that too? That's a large portion of that puzzle as well.
So on their PowerPoint spreadsheet, it doesn't outline the mortgage. I would be really surprised if they don't include it,
Okay.
but it
Me too.
wasn't specifically outlined on the PowerPoint.
I don't know what it means for Kansas, but nationwide, they're saying that's going to be about $75 billion worth of loss between now and the end of the year. So,
So the city is proposing doing a housing and rental
They have,
assistance.
yeah.
However, there's a lot of components that need to be outlined before our consultants or the state will accept it. So as the plan is written now, it is not acceptable. So we did send it back to them to revamp and to address the questions that our consultant had. So until we get that finalized, we can't get that program rolling. You know, much like we did with our programs with the chamber and the small business and the GMCF, there's a lot of proponents to that you have to make sure that you're addressing to meet those federal requirements. And while it appears the money's free, no money's free, and federal has so many strings that we have to be very careful on how this program's written. Not only on meeting the federal requirements, but also to make sure that the administrative burden of this is not so significant that we can't get through this process before the end of the year. So again, there's a lot of moving targets on that, and until we get it resubmitted and it's acceptable to our consultant, we can't go forward with that program.
With Operation Warp Speed at the federal level, which is trying to get 100 million rapid tests out to the states based off of need, increases, surges, hotspots, clusters, all those adjectives that are combined in that. Will there be offset if Kansas gets something federally separately? Will it offset that number as far as testing is concerned that they'd like to decide? No.
That'll be the question, because that's the thing. So here we are at the city level trying to create this program. And then we know round 3 is also going to address it. So how much are we going to be duplicating it? And it's really hard to say, because as far as what they make their eligible criteria, we don't know that answer. Same, much like we've created these programs for nonprofit and the businesses, but round 2 also encompassed those. So again, there was duplication. Is it necessary? We don't know yet, because we don't know what we're going to look at between now and the end of the year. I mean, everything is so gray that it's really hard to say whether we're 100% meeting our needs. So we're trying to be flexible and potentially be able to address them, knowing we only are going to have that last month for anything that we haven't already encompassed in their further need. Rich, do you have anything to add to that?
It just gets so convoluted, you know, because we have to be so careful with the details and exactly, you know, being sure that, you know, if someone's asking for rental assistance, mortgage assistance, you know, it is truly needed, you know, and then who does the due diligence to check that? How do you do that? And then, like you say, if we offer one program now and another round offers another program, how do we, because there will be people that use the system and duplicate, you know, requests. And so it's a lot of work. And as Tammy knows, my number one concern with us getting so involved in the administration part is, do we just have the personnel time to do it? Even though we have the consultant, there's still a lot of work we still have to do here now.
Sure.
So,
Well,
and then not only the personnel, but you have to have people that have the ability to do it, you know, and that's just, you just don't hire some part-time temporary person to do that, you know, because it's taken Tammy, I'd be afraid to tell you how many hours a week of her time since she's doing this.
Well, I know on the, at least on the federal side through our National Steering Committee, you have to be, I think it's 90 days behind for any federal assistance at this point, straight up, not talking allocations here for rent. And I think you have to be 180 days behind on mortgage. So even if you do get somewhat caught up when the moratoriums come off, you're still going to be behind.
Mhm.
So, I just don't know how that all plays out, but they're estimating between March and the end of the year, about $75 billion worth of lost revenue, just for those two items alone. So,
Well, and that's one of the things our consultant addressed. If we set a cap on what we'll give someone, and that doesn't get them out of
right.
the possibility of eviction, are we really helping them? So, her suggestion is, you help the person until they're out of debt, and then you move on to the next
Right.
person. You don't just help a little here and a little there and a little there. And it may not end up going that far, but, if you're really wanting to or have an impact, you're going to have to make a person whole.
Right.
And so that's why this is a difficult one to address. And that's the case, well, then what if we are only helping them to an extent? Is round 3 going to be something that they can tap into as well? And with this timeline, it's just, we have so many unknowns. It's hard to get to a point to where we really know that we've met the needs and done what we needed to do. But
From my perspective, it makes more sense to use round 2 to help, as you said, make everybody whole, and then not use the third allocation for that, and use that for something else that comes up along the way, because that's bound and determined to happen. But like I said, I don't make the rules and regulations on that, unfortunately, and sometimes common sense doesn't apply.
well, and I would be really surprised if we don't go past the end of the year. However, right now, that is our restriction. So we have to play like that is our restriction, and that's what we have to meet. If they open that up and extend it, great, that will help us all. But right now, we don't have that luxury to just assume that's what they'll do. So we have to just keep plugging forward.
And you probably won't know until December 26th, 27th, 28th.
The way it's been going, and that was one of the things we heard on September 4th, that we got our funds and our spending plan was good to go. And then the following week, we have the public telling us we're not being transparent and we're not telling them about our programs, when literally we had just got it approved on that Friday. We rolled out the first program with the nonprofit on the 16th. So 12 days after our approval, we had the first program ready to go, which I think is spectacular for us to have that ready to roll that quickly. However, the public, and I understand, they need it now, but it's not something that can be done overnight if you do the process and you do it well. So hopefully everybody can continue to be patient and know that we're trying to work for the benefit of the entire community.
Thank you.
That's all I've got for now. Thank you, Tammy.
Yep.
And thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Is press conference next? Okay, Gina?
Morning.
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 I was kind of hoping that Tammy would stick around for a minute. I want to thank her for her help as we were navigating through the nonprofit, for-profit phase 2, and we're in a unique situation because we're a 501c6 and we don't really fit into any of those spots. So she was on the phone with me helping me through that. So please pass along my gratitude to her. I think I was here, I've been here since March, although I don't honestly know. I don't remember once.
It was raining.
Mhm.
That must have been May.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm happy to report, honestly, that we are just moving forward very steadily, very safely. Our sales tax dollars are better than have been projected. I think we have a lot of things going on in our district that are tangible, that you can see, that show our progress. Certainly not everyone is doing fabulously well, and there are still businesses that are struggling. But overall, I think we're definitely headed in the right direction, and I'm really happy about that. I'm really proud of this group, this neighborhood as a whole, and how they've stuck together and stuck it out, and really, they've actually honestly worked together. They've reached out, they've helped each other. It's been pretty amazing. Since March, as I was saying, we've moved away from sort of reacting to just going into recovery, and we are recovering, and I feel good about it. We were able to pass a really unique initiative with our city commission, and that is simply called the Open Air Business Extension, where we were able to allow businesses through a simple no charge permit to come out onto this public right of way with their goods, retailers specifically, and then of course restaurants. And you may notice from time to time on beautiful days that some of our retailers have their things out on the sidewalk, and it has allowed those who are more timid or don't have that confidence yet to be inside buildings. It allows them to do a little bit of shopping outside, and then of course our next round will be the dining platforms that we unfortunately are still waiting on. There has been just a significant delay or impact to the supply chain, and particularly with decking material, which everybody in the whole world is trying to get outside and build decks. So unfortunately, we were looking at November. Well, that's not very helpful. So the city has decided actually to go ahead with the bottoms of the platforms and a temporary railing, which is totally sufficient for ADA requirements and sufficient for alcohol, ABC state alcohol regulations. It's just not as lovely and as charming as we had hoped. But they will, as that material, as those sides come in, they'll be built in place while they're out there on the street. And then when it gets too cold, we'll roll them away to storage and bring them back out in the spring. So not the way I'd hoped, and I certainly wish that this week they were out there, but that's how it goes when you're dealing with the unknown, really. So we've had some significant construction projects be completed and still never lose any momentum. Fourth and Points, where the Gaia Salon and Glow Spa has that building. It's completely a completed building. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful buildings in downtown now. It has space for living and office space and restaurant space, and it's a stunning building. Community House, directly across the street from here, is moving along at a great pace. I don't know if you guys have had an opportunity to walk through there, but if you'd like to, I can make that happen for you. The contractors have been very generous in allowing people to walk through and tour it. It's going to be really a neat space. We have another, if you're familiar where Wiesner's So Unique was on Points Avenue, that's now going to be a business called Furnish, and they are doing complete renovation of that building. So really excited about all of the beautiful new spaces. And then of course Manhattan Brewing Company has opened up, and they're underneath Strucker Nelson West Gallery, and they've been a very popular and very successful business since they've opened. So super happy about those kind of things. We've had some very modified but very successful racing events downtown. We've had some running events. We've had a bike race in downtown, all modified, of course, in the way that they're happening, but very successful and well attended, and that's made participants and our businesses and me and everybody involved very happy to see that we can pull this off and do it in a way that is acceptable to the health department, and really proud about it. So as we move into our season of the holiday and what's generally just, you know, a lot of events. We will bring back several of our events, but they will be very modified. The end of this month, we normally would have All Treats Day. We're going to have All Treats Week. You can just casually come down with your kids. There's no set day. We don't want a large gathering of kids and bunching up on the sidewalks, and we're talking thousands of kids. So we figure just doing it over the week for businesses, make you go to lunch, maybe you'll get a piece of candy with your check and simply do it that way. Holiday open house is the kickoff to the holiday season for us. Nothing will be any different about that. That's just businesses offering their specials and that kind of thing for the season, and it'll be very festive. Festival of Trees, which benefits the Clinton Hills Volunteer Center, normally takes place in the ballroom with a huge gala. This year it'll be an online auction. It is not our event, but we are going to host the trees, the wreaths, the mantles, and the entryways in our business windows and in our businesses. So people who want to do the walking tour are more than welcome to do that. You can vote for your favorite one, and that'll be the People's Choice Award. So those will be going out, I believe, on November 9th. Festival of Lights down in Blue Earth Plaza will also look differently. There will be no lighting ceremony, but there will be an online illumination event that you'll be able to watch as it's lighted. But I'm so very happy that we're going to have Christmas displays down there, and that people can stay in their cars and tune into the radio station and hear the music, get out, take pictures. All those light displays will still be down there. So really happy. If anyone is inclined, that is a private organization that funds that event, and it's really important to normalize Christmas, I think, for our family and our families in this region. They are accepting donations. Whatever you can do to make contribute to that would be really great. And then we have the Spirit of the Holidays Lighted Parade that is a go now, and we are just in the very beginning stages of that. Haven't submitted any of our permits yet, but really happy that we'll be conducting that parade and coming down Points Avenue and heading into Aggieville. I believe that the Triangle Park traditional lighting of the tree will not take place live, but will also be an online illumination ceremony. And but everybody loves a parade, so if you know anybody that wants to be in a parade, lights are the only thing that are required. That wraps up kind of our events. We have been the recipient of some pretty significant donations, and it's just been, I continue to be absolutely floored really by the generosity in our community. The dining platforms, I asked BHS if they would be willing to donate the labor on those, and they absolutely didn't even hesitate. And we just could not get this done without their contributions. Architect One, who did the renderings and the construction drawings for those platforms, significantly reduced their fees. Ameritrust Credit Union, that's not even in the downtown district, stepped up and said, hey, what can we do for all the restaurants? And they donated 2 patio heaters to every single restaurant, whether they were getting dining platforms or not. And then just on Friday, we were informed that the Lafayette Lodge number 16 had purchased 52 national colors, which are American flags, to replace our worn flags on Points Avenue. And that the generosity of these folks has just been just amazing. And we feel just filled with gratitude for these businesses to hold us in this kind of regard, to do want to be able to do something for us like this. Just comes at the right time. And so I just wanted to publicly thank those people for for supporting small business ultimately is what that is. It's support a small business and our district. And that's
Thank you.
what I have for you.
Thank you.
I know that was a lot. Any questions?
Not to me, thank you. Judith.
Okay, take care, guys.
Thank
You too.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
Rich, you're on.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Everyone knows we have the general election coming up November 3rd. It'll be on a Tuesday. We'll remind everyone this election has been up and going for quite some time because on September 18th is when we're required to send out several hundred federal service ballots. And with us having a military installation in Riley County, in the state, we're probably the county that sends out the most of those federal service ballots. And some of those have already been voted and returned back to us. So the election process has been going on for quite a while. And, you know, we had to have ballots ready before then. So it's been an ongoing process. I want to remind everyone, voter registration books close October 13th. Advanced voting in person and by mail begins on October 14th. The first batch of mail ballots to go out will exceed 8,000. We already have those processed and to the vendor to process those. Advanced voting will be going on in 2 locations. We were fortunate enough to, due to just having a great community of volunteers, to actually staff the advanced voting location at the Kansas State Union. So go through our hours of advanced voting. Advanced voting at the Riley County Office Building at 110 Courthouse Plaza, 2nd floor, will begin Wednesday, October 14th. And that week through Friday, October 16th is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then on the next Monday, October 19th through Friday, October 23rd, is open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. that week. And the next week after that, we will be staying open an extra 2 hours for advanced voting. Also that Saturday, October 24th, we will be open 8 a.m. to noon. Monday, October 6th through Friday, October 30th, we're open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then Saturday, October 31st, we're open from 8 a.m. to noon. And then by state law, we have to close on noon on Monday, October 2nd. So we'll be open 8 a.m. to noon. And then the advanced voting hours at the Kansas State Student Union, 2nd floor in the Bluemont room, will begin Wednesday, October 14th, and go through Friday, October 16th. The hours there start a little later. They start at 10 a.m. and close at 5 p.m. each day. Monday, October 19th through Friday, October 23rd, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday, October 26th through Friday, October 30th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then the final day, of course, is also that Monday, November 2nd, 10 a.m. to noon. Just want to remind everyone when they do come to participate in advanced voting in person to bring an ID. And then, of course, everyone knows all of the polling places throughout the county will be open on election day, Tuesday, November 3rd, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Encourage residents to go out to the Riley County website. There's a ton of valuable voting information out there on our website, including you can look up a sample ballot for your exact district. That way you can be informed as to what races or special questions may be on your ballot. That way you're not surprised when you go to the polling places. And then also, if you are one of those that chooses to attend in person, you can look up your polling place location on election day. And do want to announce also, we do anticipate having a mail ballot drop box in the West Loop location. We've contacted the property manager there and they were very cooperative. It was very nice to get a hold of someone and they didn't hesitate. So we just have to identify the exact spot in the West Loop Shopping Center and we will have a drop box there. We also anticipate having small ballot boxes in all the small cities as well. All the city clerks, we've talked to them and they're willing to do that for us. We just have to finalize the location in Randolph because they do not have city offices there. Any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Rick.
Well, Captain Fink. Better late than never, huh?
Yeah, sorry, I had a meeting that went long unexpectedly, but I'm here now.
Okay.
Morning,
Morning.
Captain Rich Fate, Raleigh County PD. Just a couple of things. Our radio system is up and running and it's really good. The coverage, I think, is really good. You can hear folks up north. They could be in the farthest reaches of the county and you can hear them like they're in a sitting room. So that's a real nice change from our old system. We're doing a lot of traffic enforcement, school zones, work zones, in some other areas based on driving behavior. We're getting a lot of complaints, citizen complaints about driving in certain areas. So we're going to be doing some concentrated traffic enforcement in various areas. We're going to tell people where we're going to be doing this at. It'll go out to the media. It'll also be on our website. So if folks are interested in where we're going to be setting up traffic enforcement areas, they can get onto our website or follow us on Twitter, and they know all those places and won't be any surprises for them. And lastly, Lieutenant Greg Steer has been selected to replace me as a captain. So he'll be replacing me at the end of this year. And I hope I can get him to one of these meetings before I go, but we'll see what we can do with that. I think that's about it.
Did you retiring?
Yep. And December 31st.
But you're going to be touching on those school zones, the one on Anderson and Hudson, and the one at Lee School, at least once a day I drive that, and usually the afternoon one. And I just, of course, where I pull out on the Anderson one, I'm between the lights, so I don't know if they're going, but I kind of have an idea. I pull out, but I just judge how traffic's going. But a couple of times this past week, just about got flattened or run over by somebody coming in at a high rate of speed, and then jockeying with traffic. Then of course I come across them again at the Lee School one, the same thing. I think we have people that just aren't aware of these school zones. And so I think a little financial strain on their budget might reinforce that a little bit.
Yeah, the tickets are expensive, especially in construction zones. So we want to make it as clear as we can. We'll put signs out. We're going to put it on the website, social media. So, yeah.
Appreciate it.
If a person gets caught in one of them enforcement efforts we're doing, they should have known.
Yep.
Rich, have the scooters created much of an impact for you? Because I just see them sitting everywhere.
Yeah, not really. We've had one accident. Wasn't too terrible, but any is not good. But so far, this seems to be doing well. The business seems to be doing well. I think they're keeping the scooters in really good condition. The maintenance is, everyone I see looks like it's brand new, and I know they're being used a lot, so I know they're not new. I think it's going fairly well.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Greg?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I have two housekeeping matters, I will call them, for Fairmont Heights this morning. The first one is a contract for Rando and Adina Weiser. Their property is across Messenger Road and down the hill literally. And so for them to hook up to the Fairmont Heights sewer district, they're gonna need to have a grinder pump. In negotiation in discussions with Leon about that. We talked with the Weisers, and Leon, the actual placement of the grinder pump will be part of the project cost, be covered by the bond, but future maintenance, all obligations for that will be the Weisers and any subsequent property owners of that property. That's what the agreement says. That's attached to my car. There's also provision in that agreement that the Weisers and any subsequent property owners will hold the county harmless from any liability or damages related to or arising out of that grinder pump. So it's just an agreement to get the pump placed, but with the contractual understanding that the property owners will own that grinder pump, maintain it, and replace it if needed.
I think it's appropriate. I'd make a motion to sign the agreement presented.
All second.
All in favor?
All right.
Is that one, gentlemen? Call three, please.
my other matter for Fairmont Heights is a little more unusual situation. The Tussendorfs, Steve Tussendorf owns one lot out in Fairmont Heights, and his mom and dad, Donald and Carolyn, own a lot. Both those lots have had septic tanks put in sometime in the last 5 years. And we ran into a problem with these properties. Everybody out there needed to sign a temporary easement to allow the contractor to come on their property to put in their service line. And the Tussendorfs were refusing to sign those temporary easements. Of course, I told them if they didn't sign it, they just didn't get the sewer. But what they wanted was the ability to keep their septic tanks. And so I checked with Leon about that. We got a hold of Sam Johnson at BG Consultants, and we ran it by everybody. And the engineers had no problem with them keeping the septic tanks, as long as the septic tanks didn't interfere with placing the sewer line, the new service line on the property. And with that understanding, I thought it was best to get this in a contract, so that there won't be any real problems down the line, particularly if there's a service line placement issues. You know, the contract clearly says that they get to keep them unless they interfere with the service line. So this contract just allows them to keep their septic tanks. They won't be destroyed by the contractor. Keep them as long as they don't interfere with that new service line. They won't be destroyed by the contractor. They are accepting the septic tanks in their as-is condition. We have no obligation or liability to them for that septic tank. And again, they're going to hold us completely harmless from any liability arising from or related to those septic tanks.
Well, it's most certainly is unusual. So the tanks won't remain in use.
No, they will not.
So
They will not. And
so at a future date, typically on a changeover and or if the home's demolished, the homeowner is required to pump and demolish the tank or crush it and fill it with sand. So in this case, is this something that hopefully they can dig up and sell or reuse someplace else or what?
You know, I think we've talked with Steve himself. He's been really the negotiator for himself and his mom and dad, and that's the general concept I get from him is he wants to try to get some value out of those tanks.
Okay.
However he's going to do that. I will say, I didn't mention the contract, again, they have the responsibility of pumping that tank.
So if the tank isn't found to be in the road of putting the service line in, but during putting the service line in, it's inadvertently damaged, we're still not going to have any liability. Is that correct?
Right. Right.
Okay.
They're going to get it. They're going to get it in as-is condition.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Do we have a motion on it?
Guess I'll make a motion that we accept the contracts for the Tessendorf septic tank.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, on this,
I will tell you what was getting this contract in place, and we already have the temporary easements from the Tessendorfs.
Okay.
We had temporary easements for everybody's lots. We had some permanent easements we had to get out there for where the line's gonna go. And then everybody out there that was gonna get service had to sign what was called an outside city sewer agreement. And we've got all those documents signed by everybody.
Okay.
And talking to Rob Ott at Newton, he says that's a very unusual circumstance in a project this big in a subdivision. There's usually some holdout. But we've got everybody signed up on everything that needs to be done. And I've been advised by Liam that construction is supposed to start out there November 1st. It's been a long time in the works. We're just making more of work on this one.
Okay.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
A moment or two past 10, but we should be okay.
Showing we have bid opening.
Two of them. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Wrong one.
Yep.
This one for 1010. We
Tara
need the other
Heights
one.
is first.
Yeah, we need the other one, please. Put that one to the side. Thank you, sir.
Same company,
I was gonna say,
different
I guess it probably
projects.
doesn't really matter.
Well, it does. They usually hand it to me in order though. Try it, Ron.
Take it.
Okay, so we are gonna start the bid opening for Tera Heights Water Wastewater System Operator. The first and only bid I had is from HPS. It's out of Milford, Kansas. So we have two separate ones, one for the bid and then one for wastewater.
Correct.
Okay. Do I need to do one in specific order here? I'll just do the base bid
No.
first. Okay. That's why it was such a thick folder. Okay. Okay, anything I'm looking at on this bid here?
I don't see anything here. Let's go to the next.
Okay.
This basically tells showing us that they're qualified to do this.
Okay. Okay. Cashier's check there. Okay, operation base bid that I see here is $350 for 12 months at $4,200 per year. Extra work will also be charged at a rate of $35 per hour for Joel Townsend operator and $50 per hour for Robert Bloom operator. Bid information on top and everything else on the
Okay.
bottom there.
HPS out of Milford. The is that $350 per month, you were saying?
Yes.
Okay. $4,200 a year. And that'd be Townsend, Joel Thompson at $35 per hour and $50 for Robert Bloom. So
you. Motion on that one, gentlemen?
Move we submit bid to staff for evaluation recommendation.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next one, please.
Do we want to wait till 10:10?
Oh, yeah, we need to, yeah, I thought it was, yep, wait, 10.
I think there's not a lot of companies that do these.
Not around here.
Yeah.
We actually did try to advertise it a little bit more regionally, but as you see,
Transportation.
we got the response. This is the same outfit that's been doing this work in both these systems for a number of years.
Okay, time.
We have a second bid opening for University Park Water wastewater system operator.
That other one was just a qualification.
We'll just leave that one as is. Okay, I have $1,400 per month for a year for a total of $16,800. And on the water operation base bid, that's $900 per year for $10,800 for total. And it gives us a total base bid there of $27,600. Same thing on the extra work there, $35 for Mr. Townsend and $50 for Mr. Bloom.
University Park. Water and sewer. Wastewater, yeah, park on the wastewater. They have $1,400 per month and a total of $16,800 per year. And on the water operation basis, $900 a month with a $10,800 per year. Total would be $27,600 per year.
Go ahead and make a motion that we approve sending this bid back to staff for further review and recommendation.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Gary, next one, we have Brother Spencer at 71. You are, sir.
Thanks, Rich.
You bet.
So did you do anything good over the weekend?
Huh?
Okay,
And for you yesterday.
we're almost there, Ron.
That's always.
We're close, Cal.
Almost, yep.
We'll start that one wood, split,
Yeah.
get an hour or two here now.
You gotta stay through the last presentation. We can't leave before the last presentation or halfway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
You notice I didn't say that. It's important that you stay. We can't get along without your advice.
Mhm. Yeah, I doubt that.
He doesn't even take the buttering him up. He just won't do it. He'll try to butter you up and you just won't do it. Hi, how are
Good
you?
morning.
Morning.
How's Bretta?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good.
I hear old And just, the lawyer, the judge, he used to be at your meetings, probably not there right now. Dang it. He fell down, he had a problem, and then he went to the hospital, and then he came back home and fell down. He had a small stroke, and then he fell down after coming home.
You give me a name, I probably recognize it.
Yeah, I know. He used to meet there for you down there, down at the coffee shop down there, McDonald's.
Marshawn?
Marshawn, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He fell, he had a small stroke.
We did.
It affected his speech, but he finally was getting over it. Went back home, fell down, hurt his back, and then was back at Stormont Dale. Should be back home now.
Really? Too bad. He's a good guy.
Yeah, Jerry.
Really liked him.
Now I get his first name, Jerry.
Yeah, you see him with John Hines for me, and we're thinking of him. So.
Yeah,
He's got to be getting up there, isn't he?
He
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is.
He wasn't necessarily young when he retired. That was 10 years ago or so. It's been a little while.
Only reason I know about it is he's also a member of the lodge. So
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
I had to come before him one time. He took it easy on me.
he is a nice guy.
Yeah.
He understands. But Jerry's wife, well, his kids came down to help out. So
First Ranger Frost went by his house at door to door, and he pulled me in his law library, and we just had a good conversation.
yeah,
I could see
Nice
that.
guy.
you're on.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
I'm Brenda Spencer. I'm the maternal child health supervisor in the Riley County Health Department. And today I'm here to present on the KDG Injury Prevention Mini Grant. The purpose of the grant is to reduce unintentional injuries and hospitalizations through coordination, implementation, and evaluation of model intervention programs. We applied for this last year and we did not receive funding, so we're hopeful that this year we will receive funding for this. Essentially, funds must be used for community-based coordination and development, implementation, and evaluation of unintentional injury prevention. It will support initiatives that address changes in knowledge, attitudes, behaviors, and/or environments. And the project period is through September 30th of 2021. And funding will support the purchase of thermometers, first aid kits, fire extinguishers, portable door locks, and baby gates. And they will be distributed to families participating in our program, and also includes our weekly home visiting program. And we also provide educational handouts as well with the safety items. And we also talk with the families about best practices. And then we follow up to ensure they're using them and that they're installed correctly, for instance, a baby gate.
Sure.
Whatnot. So possible motions are to approve, deny, modify, or no action.
Any comments, questions?
I'll go ahead.
Standard procedure.
Standard procedure, okay.
I think I remember they said that usually works on a 3-year rotation, and maybe that's why you didn't get that last year.
Yeah, so last year they told us that we had a great application, but we had received it 3 prior
Yeah,
years and they had a lot of applicants. So it was our turn to not receive the funding. So hopefully this year we will be back in the award.
Okay. So I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the KDHE Injury Prevention Mini Grant for the Riley County Health Department.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Brenda.
Brenda.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And I can provide you an update for our Technologies for Families grant. I came maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. We had applied for that grant and we did receive full funding for that.
Good,
So
good.
we're working with Kevin Hauser and IT to get those purchased and out to the families. So
If I'm
it's
not
a great update.
mistaken, Julie has a staff update Thursday. If you have something to add to
Oh,
that. you might-
perfect. Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
1:30, Mr. Clancy. Or no, Elizabeth, not Clancy. Yeah, Jared's a good guy. He really is fantastic.
And he's a real easy guy to talk to.
Oh, yeah, he
Yep.
is. He is.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. Pulled me into his house when I was going door to door, and 30 years old, new, meeting people, and sat me down in his law library, and we just had to talk, you know.
I said I had to appear before him once. I made a dumb kid error and I ended up having to go to court for it. He was pretty blunt about the situation, but didn't take a look at me, so.
And he does a lot with the shrine.
Huh?
He does a lot with the shrine also. Or used to do a lot with the shrine. He's getting where he's not getting out as much. With his injury now, he's not gonna get out very much.
That's too bad. Hate to see that.
Yep.
Do you have any idea how old he is, Ron? Do you have any idea how old he is?
I don't, no.
It's gotta be late 80s.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
sure
go
that's-
at least early 90s. Well, we lost another baseball legend over the weekend with
Is that,
pitcher Bob Gibson
oh, really?
from the Cardinals. Yeah.
So what's OU doing now? How panic's OU football?
I have no idea. They play Texas this next weekend too. You're talking about two teams desperate for,
I thought before then OU beat them. I'm not so sure now.
I don't know. They don't look really good on offense. I don't think it's the quarterback's fault. They just don't have the firepower, the experience. Morning.
I think part of it is that, you know, just as inexperience, you know, but not all. I agree.
Yeah. And really, I mean, the two games that I've seen now, he really hasn't made, I mean, he's made one critical error, but not many of them. But the one he's made is comes at the most inopportune time. But they usually have a couple of good bevy of running backs. You know, this year, they don't have that one go-to receiver that they usually have. You know, like,
It's even not so much the errors, you know, because I just compared, you know, Thompson with our backup, you know, and it's, our backup didn't do any errors, but it just doesn't run as smooth.
Yeah.
And he can't call out to the right, to a different play when the defense switches. So, you know, it's just those little things that the experience gives you.
yeah, I noticed that too. I think if you get the full reps through practice, you know, during the week with the first team, that helps. We still don't have a receiver. We still don't have a go-to receiver. I don't think Knowles is it. Youngblood's in the doghouse again. I don't know what the
He
deal
is.
is there. Yeah. So we got a pretty good receiver in Riley, the tight end transfer from Northern Iowa, but you know, I think you're going to see a lot of stuff on the ground.
Good thing we got a deuce.
Yep.
Yeah, that kid's as advertised.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, how's your day going?
Pretty good for Monday, I would say. Yeah, thank you for asking.
Like to see Deuce gain about 20, 25 pounds of lower body strength.
That was always the thing with Sproles. He was so fast, but I mean,
Oh,
he was
yeah,
built.
legs were
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, you know, I mean, he was just.
I had class with him, and I mean, he had to scrunch into a seat. Seriously.
Deuce is similar, but his running style is different. He doesn't have the hips that Sproles did.
No.
Sproles can change direction
Yeah.
all the time. This guy's fast and quick and can turn, but Sproles can just change the direction.
I was like on a, I mean, like
Real,
in
on
a,
and
in a
on.
telephone booth, you got 4 guys around him in a telephone booth and he'd get through it.
Right.
It's just crazy.
Jerry graduated pre-law from K-State in 1955, and it looked like he was born 1933 in Oakley, Kansas.
That makes him like 80.
You said the late 80s.
Yeah,
so
that's what I thought. Well, he practiced law for a long time, didn't he?
Yeah, they said he opened his law office here in Manhattan in 1963, and he'd been with another firm before that. So.
I met him one day. We were at Sam's. This was about 50, well, when Bush was in office.
Which Bush?
The second Bush.
Okay.
And
Bush
and-
1 or Bush 2?
yeah, Bush 2, and he just laid it on the line. He says, I think he's violated every constitutional rule by doing what he did in that war. So he really gave me what for, and it wasn't me that did it. By the time you get up there, Elizabeth,
Like a
it
little-
should be
little
time,
long,
yes.
okay.
Slow.
So, and I should read the whole proposal, is that accurate?
Huh?
Should I read this?
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know if I just discuss it or if I need to read it.
Whatever you prefer.
Okay.
I don't know if the board's had time to go through.
I
it or
looked
not.
over
Yeah,
it, yeah.
sure. Okay, all right, well, so you can see on the commission agenda report, basically with the various strains of employee mental health in 2020 relating to COVID-19 pandemic, the offices, our office, Rich's office, has continued to look for ways where Riley County can support and show appreciation for the employees' efforts and stamina carrying out the Riley County mission through challenging times. So an opportunity has arisen for us to request to the commissioners to grant a full day of holiday leave on December 24th and December 31st. We recently discovered that Kansas State has decided to offer their employees 2 days off in the remainder of the year for mental relief, specifically related to the stress of the pandemic. And as you know, we were forced to cancel our training day, which generally happens on Columbus Day due to the pandemic, which is really a team-oriented, motivating sort of day that really kind of helps refresh us and get us going in the fall. You can see there our current policy, so the days that we do have listed as holidays right now. And it also states at the bottom of our policies that the Board of County Commissioners may, by majority vote, designate other days as special holidays on a one-time basis. So that's the basis of our request. This year, Christmas Eve falls on a Thursday, and so by policy, our holiday begins at noon on the 24th, and then we have a full holiday on Christmas Day. New Year's Day is also on a Friday, so by policy, we don't currently observe any type of early closing for New Year's Day. Just for reference, I was able to talk with several of the Kansas counties, and there you can see on there, there's a number of counties that currently do give the 24th and 31st or some combination of those days along with Christmas Day as well. And I did confer a little bit with Landon Nichols to make sure what the court was doing and how that might affect their calendar as well. So they're planning taking the full day on the 24th and 25th already, and then they'll take the date into consideration on the 31st if you decide to give that day as well. There is no real fiscal impact. However, if employees are required to work on a holiday, such as for snow removal, we're talking, the end of December, we do have to pay them holiday pay in addition to the hours worked. So that could be a possibility. We have no way to plan for that, but there could be some payroll costs there. And then since the 31st is a designated payday, we will have to make sure that we communicate very clearly and get all those dates and everything approved and processed a little bit quicker. And then I did speak with several of the department heads, actually all of the department heads, and there were several offices, all of the department heads were in favor, but there were several offices that said, yes, if we do this, we'll need to communicate clearly to the public, make sure everyone knows that these deadlines have changed and that the offices would be closed. So we would like to ask that you consider to grant 1.5 additional days of holiday for 2020 specifically in the form of a full day on Christmas Eve, in place of the current half-day holiday, and a full day on New Year's Eve.
Any discussion?
Not particularly, I'm not really enamored about the day before New Year's, but being that anything, especially this year, there won't be many people out congregating, I don't suppose, so. I understand compensating our employees. However, I think Attorney Barry Wilkerson also pointed out that people that pay this bill also have taken quite a hit this year, so. But if we go ahead with this, I would modify the motion to include only for 2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The only thing with that is if we don't, from a payroll perspective, we're still paying that out anyway, so it's still a taxpayer expense. But given the year that we've had, and particularly stress on several different departments, I think everybody's been stressed to a certain extent. And we're also, not doing any step increases or raises for 2021. I'm comfortable with this. I'm
Okay.
with it.
I am too, so any motion you got?
Go ahead and make a motion that we exchange half day of Christmas Eve for a full day. That's December 24th, and a full day holiday pay on New Year's Eve, 2020.
Second.
2021, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, well, on behalf of the departments, I thank you and our citizens. They will
Okay.
really appreciate, our staff will really appreciate this.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for bringing it. Any other things, gentlemen?
Nope. I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We got you out here a little earlier.